Hi, I'm Army Specialist Scott, and this is the first video in a series of training videos that are meant for the Grafenwehr USO initially, but they can be used for all of the USOs around the globe. These videos are made so that the members of the USO, the managers and the volunteers alike, can help budget themselves better by not having to buy new game systems, but instead by repairing the game systems that they already have, specifically the Xbox 360 and all three of its major generations. Now, to start with, I actually got into Xbox 360 repair while I was healing up from having some abdominal surgery, and my buddy calls me up and he tells me that he plugged his Xbox 360, this one here actually, into German power. And it exploded, or at least that's what he told me. So I told him to go ahead and bring it over and I'll see what I can do. Because, you know, why the hell not? He was crying over the phone, and so I take a look at it. I didn't smell any smell of anything burning coming from the 360 itself, but I did smell the smell of burning something coming from the power brick. So I figured, okay, it just needs a new power brick. Well, the other issue is that plugging it into German power apparently gave the system a seizure of some kind, and the DVD drive was stuck, half open and half closed. So, long story short, he ended up getting himself a new 360, and he gave me this one and told me, if you can fix it, it's yours. And I said, okay, cool. And then I asked him, what do you want to do with the hard drive, because it has all of your game saves on. And he said, well, I don't know what to do with the hard drive. I got this new 360 and it's got one of the new hard drives in it, and it's not compatible with the old one, so I don't really know what to do. And I said, alright, well, let me see what I can find out. So I hopped online, did some quick research. 10 minutes later, I found out how to take this hard drive here off of this system and stick it into the second generation system, and then transfer the files onto a USB drive, instead of buying the, what was at the time, a $30 or $40 hard drive data transfer cable from Microsoft. Ridiculous price. I didn't want to pay that. Nobody would want to pay that. That's stupid. So, long story short, we got it done. He gave me the whole thing, said go ahead and keep it. And I said cool. And in the course of all of my searching around online, I learned a lot of different tricks. I learned what the red ring of death is. I learned how to prevent the red ring of death. I learned how to transfer a hard drive from the old type of enclosure here on the old 360 model into the new type of enclosure right here in the new 360. And it also informed me as to how to do a 12-volt fan mount. It informed me as to what causes the system to break in the first place, and also how to prevent that from ever happening and how to bring it back from that. So that's why I started doing these videos, is because I took everything that I learned experimenting with this system, which is no longer even remotely the original system, not anymore. This system is now a compilation of 4 different Xbox 360s. Its case parts, its internals, the DVD drive, the hard drive, all of that has basically been mixed and matched. And I've done it in such a way that, you know, I did not get banned from Xbox Live. I have not been banned from Xbox Live. The system here is one that I'm going to be installing this, pardon me, this new DVD drive in that I have right here, because this one right now suffers from the disk read error. In other words, it will no longer recognize a CD, or sorry, any kind of a optical disc when you throw it in there. It'll still connect to Xbox Live, it'll still read from the hard drive, it'll still talk to USB thumb drive, it'll still do, you know, everything else but read from a disc. So that's going to be a future video that we do. The whole reason why I'm making these is because I walked into the USO over here on Graffinger Main Post, and I was looking for my wife at the time. She told me to meet her over there for dinner. But I walked in and I looked into the game room they have, and they had, you know, 4 360s sitting on a table, all of them connected to 4 the different televisions. And one of them had a little sign hung on it that said out of order. And I got to thinking, I know how to fix these. Maybe I'll just take a look at it. So I go and talk to the guy behind the desk. Ask him, who can I talk to about taking a look at that broken 360? And he's told me who to talk to. So I go and I talk to the director of the USO over there. And I told him what I'd done with my own 360, and I asked him, you know, can I go ahead and take a look at this one and see if I can maybe resurrect it for you? And he said, oh, well, don't worry about it. You know, we've already budgeted the $300 that we're going to need to spend to buy a new 360 with a hard drive in it, and we've already got that budgeted. We've got the $300 ready to rock and roll and go. And I said, okay, well, how about this? For a fraction of that price, I can probably resurrect that 360 if you let me take a look at it right now, and I can also do preventative maintenance on that 360 and all of the rest of the 360s here. And then you won't have to budget $300. You'll only have to budget maybe $60 or $70. A fraction of the cost. And so he looked at me, he was very impressed, and he said, okay, go ahead and let's go ahead and prove it, see what you can do. I said, okay. So I walked in, picked up the 360, looked at it, smelled it, didn't smell the smell of anything burning. Picked up the power brick, smelled it, smelled the smell of something that had burned. And the smell of burned circuitry is a very, very loud smell. It is very in your face. It is very obvious when you smell it. It doesn't smell like anything else. It does not smell like a normal, natural, fresh manufactured smell. It doesn't even smell like an old and dirty, musty smell. It smells like something that is screaming in your face, hey, I have recently been on fire. So I told him, well, it smells like the power brick is what exploded on you. And he says, really? And I said, yeah. All right, well, it's dead then, right? And I said, no, not necessarily. Here, let me do this. And I took a power brick from one of the other 360s, and I plugged it into the one that was out of order, and I fired it up. And it worked perfectly. It was the exact same issue that this one had had, except that that one had not suffered from a DVD drive seizure. It had instead been perfectly fine. The power brick had apparently sacrificed itself. When some idiot soldier walked in and was like, oh, well, you know, I need to plug this thing into German power because God only knows why. And he did so, and it blew up the power brick. Well, right there I saved him a bunch of money, and right now I'm going to teach you how to save a bunch of money. This is video 1. This has been my introduction. Video 2 will follow, and it's going to be all the boring stuff that you need to know. So, hope you decide to keep watching, and I hope that this series of videos end up teaching you everything that you need to know, and I hope that you use them as a reference guide as you hopefully go through and perform maintenance on your Xboxes and keep them alive for a very long time, instead of immediately running out and buying the Xbox One, which is not compatible. I want to repeat that. Xbox One, not compatible with Xbox 360 games. You cannot take an Xbox 360 game and put it into an Xbox One and expect to have any positive result. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here, and I'm going to start again with video 2. Thank you for watching.